Hello and welcome back to Hockey Talks. I'm Carl. It's Dave. We're going to go over a few things tonight. Not a whole lot going down in the NHL right now, but we've got a few topics to discuss. We got Crosby here, pending on a new deal. Going to discuss whether he should just go somewhere else or he should finish off his career in Pittsburgh. Jerome Iginla, a former NHLer who played for Calgary most of his career. His son is now a part of the NHL. He just got drafted by Utah. But before we get to all that, Ovi is coming into a big year coming next season here. He's only 54 goals away from Wayne Gretzky's
regular season
record. Yeah, absolutely.
Which is, I think, super, super impressive.
Yeah.
Do you think he can score? Like, does he still got that in the tank to get it in one season? Or, what are your thoughts initially on if he can do it?
Well, after the last couple of years, he started really, really slow. And, I mean, I think he still got somewhere close to 30 goals last year.
Yeah.
But, so, I mean, yeah, he could probably do it. I mean, if anybody could do it, it's probably him.
He's a tank. He doesn't get injured a lot.
No,
he's got this heavy bones behind him.
Yeah, but he's 38 years old now. So you could imagine he's probably not as quick as most of the guys on the ice now. It's just, you see all these young guys, how fast the game has gotten, right? So
it's like, it reminds me of Jaromir Jagr, where at the end of it all, he wanted to keep playing. But no teams really wanted him, in my opinion anyways. I don't know. Because he might have slowed down quite a bit because of his age. And so for Ovechkin, I think he will get it. But the important question becomes, is he going to be useful to the team for that amount of time in order to get that? Because there's that goal, the extra 54, I think you said, goals needed for the season. But then the season, including playoffs, it's a bit of a longer stretch. I think they're 1,016 for Gretzky total. Yeah. What does Ovechkin have?
Ovechkin has 912, including the playoffs.
So 104 total.
Away from beating his all-time goal record.
Which I think might be doable in like 3 years.
I think so.
Can he be useful for 3 years?
I think he plans to play that long.
Yeah.
And I think that's definitely reachable if he can play consistently on this level he's playing, which, I mean, you've seen some slowdown in his game already, but... Yeah. I mean, he could have a really good year all of a sudden this year and be climbing really, really close to that, right?
Well, and yeah, like I was saying before in another video, we have all these teams coming into the league, and with that, there's many, many players, and as much as we might not want to admit, it does dilute the pool a little bit. That's why a big reason why we're seeing more and more goals and all that is because you're seeing these teams that might not be as good because the talent is more widespread until more and more interest catches on and then better and better people come up. So with that being said, we do have a new team or whatever with Utah. And so that's another entry. So if anything, it's more opportunity for a player like Ovechkin to continue playing.
Yeah. I mean, I think he does have this in mind, that beating it. I don't know if it's top priority.
I think of course he does. Think of yourself as a hockey player. Yeah. You're extremely metric driven. Mm-hmm. That's what you look at your whole life is obtaining goals. Otherwise, you wouldn't be an NHL player if you didn't look at life that way. Yeah. So I really do think he is looking at it and he's thinking long term. He's trying to play smart where he stays healthy and he can do 4 more seasons where he gets 30, 35 goals. And, even talking about that, we have Crosby, who's possibly signing another deal with, tentatively Pittsburgh Penguins for 3 more years.
Yep. Yeah.
So if Crosby's doing it, I know he's a year or two younger, but if Crosby's doing it, why wouldn't Ovechkin?
Yeah. You'd think. Ovechkin obviously wants to play, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think not long ago, he signed another contract to stay with the Capitals, right? But I think he has one thing in mind. And he knows he's coming close to the end of his career. I'm pretty sure that number is in the back of his head and he has a goal to get to that number and be the number 1 goal scorer in the NHL.
No.
We'll see what he does after that if he keeps wanting to play. I mean, you look at Jagr, like you mentioned before, he doesn't play in the NHL, but he still plays professionally to this day.
Yeah,
and,
he's a beast.
He's scoring goals still.
Like Gordie Howe, man.
He's still going. He just never quits. He said he never wants to quit.
Yeah.
And Ovi might be the same way. He might just go, right? And good for him. Good for him if he can manage to keep up and keep that pace going.
Passion.
And it'll be an exciting year just to watch him come close to that goal marker. And we'll see if he passes him, see if he doesn't. Either way, it's going to be an exciting time to watch him try to beat it.
It's almost like at this point, the only thing that can stop him from getting that is an injury, or I really don't think Washington would boot him, but you never know.
I don't think so either. I think he'll be on to stay for his career. I believe he will stay with Washington.
So realistically, it's only injury then.
Only injury if that's going to keep him out. Yeah, if he doesn't sustain any major injuries or anything like that, I think he's had a pretty good chance.
Now, speaking of injuries and all that, though, Crosby signing their 3-year deal. What's that mean for if he does? Right? Well, what's that mean for the Pittsburgh Penguins?
Well, if he does sign, the contract is not official or anything like that. They're not 100% sure on the term. But if Crosby does he probably will get something like a 3-year deal in the works, right? And if he does, that'll probably finish off his career. Not saying it will, but most likely he'll probably finish it off in Pittsburgh.
I think he's 36 now.
Yeah, I think 37? He's 37, 38. Yeah.
So he'd be 40. He'll
be in his 40s by the time he retires. Yeah.
That's when I want to retire too.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be nice. Yeah. You never know. Maybe this podcast will take off. Someone subscribes.
We'll see when that happens.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, Crosby, I don't know. People are speculating maybe he should just jump to a new team. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think Crosby made it pretty clear that he wants to be in Pittsburgh and finish his career there. No matter what happens, right? He's got lots of good friends that have still been on the roster for a long time, including Malkin, right? Yeah. I mean, so I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I think he's there to stay. And who knows, I think he might even shift to the front office when he does retire. That's how much I think he wants to be in Pittsburgh. But we'll see. The time will tell. Right now, getting rumblings that a deal might be in the works.
Yeah.
And we'll see where it goes from there. Yeah. But only time will tell. There's still quite a long summer ahead. And I think Crosby still has another year left on his contract anyways, right?
Yeah.
So I think he'll stay.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Like you said, he might move to the front office there and help out the team in the future. And it's interesting being around for his rookie year, seeing him grow as a player, and now we have some other rookies coming into the league, like Iginla's the young one there.
Yeah,
coming into Utah, you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He's his son got drafted by Utah in, I want to say it's the first round. I can't remember exactly what round it was, but he's drafted. He signed an entry-level deal for Utah now. During the draft, people were hoping that Calgary was going to select him.
That would have been fun, hey? Yeah.
And that's what they were kind of hoping. Calgary was a couple down, but Utah ultimately selected him, and they'd
be silly if they didn't. Yeah. Jerome Iginla was a good player. I don't believe he ever won a cup, but he did get Calgary fans very, very close. Mm-hmm. And I know the fans absolutely love the player. He's very talented.
Yeah, he's still involved
I can only hope that obviously the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
He's played a great game in WHL. That's where he got drafted from I believe Kelowna Rockets. He was playing for last year. He's a very, very talented guy, and I think he'll add a lot to this Utah club, which came from Arizona earlier this year, right? So they need some depth, they need some scoring, they need some young guys to step up, and I think Iginla will probably be a good fit into what they're trying to do right now with the players they've signed.
Spruce up the place a little bit, lower that age. Yeah.
They're playing in a new building, a new team, new
crowd,
jerseys, new crowd. Yeah. Let's get a fresh start. Let's get going. Arizona's been struggling the last few years, trying to get anything going and trying to keep players, right? They were moving everybody around all the time. So we'll see what happens with Iginla coming into the lineup here. I'm sure Jerome is pleased wherever he went. So he's going to be cheering him on from wherever he's going to be.
Yeah, at the top of the hill in Calgary.
Yeah,
top of COP.
Yeah. But for
Well, he plays, like Jerome Iginla did spend most of his career in Calgary Flames.
He did.
Which begs to question, we have, 3 teams in Western Canada, 4 teams in Western Canada, West, or the rest in Eastern Canada. If Canada were to have another team, do you think they could support it, first of all? And where would it go?
They could definitely support it, I think.
Yeah?
And
not in Saskatoon, maybe, right?
Yeah, probably not in Saskatoon.
Saskatoon, no. Saskatchewan?
No, I wouldn't see that. Not at the moment. You never know what could happen down the road, but at the moment, no. I think Quebec's been trying to get a team for a long time to get the Nordiques back, and I think it would have been a great fit to put them back in Quebec. Yeah. Quebec was a really good team when they were the Nordiques. Like, there was a decent fan base and everything like that, and right, they have the rivalry with everybody in Ontario and stuff like that, and then you have rivalry with Montreal as well, right? Mm-hmm. Just build another rivalry there. I think Quebec would have been another good spot. They were talking about, there were some rumblings, I think they were talking about Hamilton.
Yeah, I heard that one
being
for sure
an NHL contender, but I don't think they have anything built or anything like that yet, which. You look at Quebec again, they already have everything set up and everything's set up, ready to go. But yeah, they were talking about, Hamilton,
Quebec.
Well, not even Quebec. They kind of omitted Quebec.
Oh,
interesting. I don't know. For some reason, Gary Bettman doesn't want anything to do with Quebec. They've been trying for years and years and years, but I don't think they've pretty much omitted that. But there was some place in the West Coast as well. They were trying to get talking about maybe putting another team out there, but I don't know.
In Canada? West Coast?
In Canada, West Coast, yeah.
Interesting.
I think maybe Victoria, I think it was.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Victoria, on the island there.
I brought out Seattle. And
yeah, it'd be right in that corner, Vancouver, Seattle, it'd be on the island of Victoria.
See how long it takes them to win a cup.
Yeah.
Probably not as long as Vancouver.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Don't mention the Leafs. Don't mention the Leafs. Don't mention the Leafs.
Hey, at least they won a cup.
Yeah. That's all we got on you guys.
It was a very, very long time ago.
Yeah.
Nobody remembers.
It's too bad the Canucks couldn't bring one home this year.
Next year.
Yeah.
There's always next season.
It's the Leafs motto right there.
Always next season. Speaking of the Leafs, this is a little, I guess, off topic, but the Leafs are going with pretty much the same core as last year.
Yeah.
Hey?
Yeah, it would look like it.
That's what it seems like they're gonna do.
Now here's the thing. Here's how I see it: is you can have perfectly skilled players, almost like you're choosing avatars in a video game. Now, when it comes down to it, you have one controller, i.e. the coach, or you have another controller, i.e. a different coach. But if you can choose that same core and do a little bit better and teach them a couple things, they have this adeptness of learning, this ability of learning. And if they can just learn a bit of a different play style, obviously maybe what's thought is that Keefe didn't have enough oomph to drive that home with him just because of his reputation. Not saying he's a bad guy or nothing like that, but just because of how his coaching style. It just didn't work. And like we said a week or two ago, with Keefe and the Leafs, you have this coach that came aboard, and he's kind of the complete opposite side from what Babcock was. Well, it was great because they got that, but now we need to get kind of a little more to the center, and that's what this new guy could possibly do. So maybe that's why, in my opinion, they might be going with the same core, and also why I think they might have what it takes to get it done. Albeit it's going to be a long season. One of the signs to me that will show me that the Leafs are doing really good is if you see them start to score some greasier, dirtier, shoot at the net, get in the front of the net goals.
Have a little more fight to their game.
Yes.
When it comes around the net, right?
Yes.
Instead of being pushed around and trying to get all these outside shots and one-timers and try to be too fancy. Yeah. You have a lot of skill on your team, a lot, but sometimes you just got to get to the front of the net and just force shit.
Yeah.
My apologies for the play. But
that's the reality, though.
The reality of it, right? You just look at it and you see it there. Like, they have a lot of talent on that team, and they're not utilizing it the way they should be, right? Austin Matthews is an elite goal scorer. He scores a lot of goals in the season.
Yeah.
But when it comes time to playoffs, you see how tight everything gets with defense, offense, everything. Everybody has to push, right? And the Leafs just take a step back. They don't change anything.
That's exactly
they don't move anywhere. It's like you have to get down there. Even Matthews, he has to get in there and push and fight for those goals, because otherwise they're not going to happen. Yeah. And they're going to be back in the exact same spot they are every year.
Yeah.
Even with a new coach.
And, well, yeah, like here's how I see it. A coach can be like the CEO of a company, for example, right? The most successful companies in the world, in my opinion, if they're not like those commodity type items, are going to be ones that can motivate their employees, regardless of whatever else goes on, the politics behind it all. But in my opinion, the most successful CEOs are the people who can motivate their employees. Yeah. And I also think that's the same way with coaches. Yeah. Now, all coaches, there's a bunch of different styles of coaches, but if you can get the right one mixed up with the right guys, in my opinion, Toronto Maple Leafs, they lose motivation, they lose momentum. If they have somebody who can say the right thing to them or something like that, and let me just say Ted Lasso it. You know the show Ted Lasso? Yeah. That's what he did to the team. He made everybody actually care about each other. Yeah. And they all motivated each other. If you see somebody out there giving it your all, it's contagious. And they're going to do it.
It feeds off one another.
It's that's what you need. So that's why I say a new coach with the same core, it could be a different team.
We've tried it. Yeah. We have tried it once, but you never know. It could very well work. Yeah. Could very well work.
Well, they did make some changes. I mean, the goaltending and the defenseman there.
Exactly.
Is that good enough? I don't really know. I think it'll be big to see what kind of coaching style. Like I said, because one of the previous teams he did was St. Louis when they made that run to the Cup.
Craig Ruby. Yeah.
So if you look at how they did it, they bounced back from dead last, I believe, and made it into the playoffs at 8th or 7th seed, and ended up winning the Stanley Cup. So Toronto's done it before, but maybe I'm just a believer,
Yeah.
But,
hey, well,
we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I do have the utmost confidence for Keith in Jersey because I think that he went there at a good time.
Yeah.
So hopefully the same happens for us.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully. Right now, I don't know how much confidence I really do have in them, but we'll see. Maybe Rube can...
It's okay, I'll have enough confidence for the both of us.
Perfect. At the moment, keeping that same core, I think they really needed to shake things up, even though they had a new coach and they got some defense, but I think they needed to shake things up, and they need to get some grinders and forcers down below, right? So
if you're still watching, let us know which one you agree with.
If you're still watching, yes. Okay, yeah, but to go close things out here, I think it'll be an interesting season.
Yeah, I'm absolutely looking forward to Ovechkin smashing Gretzky's record. I do know what's going to happen for the regular season in the next year or two. I'm excited to see it happen, to be a part of history. And it's exciting to see what the future has in store with the young players coming into the league.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll see what happens to Canadian teams in the future.
Yeah,
where they'll go.
See if we get any expansion. Gary Bettman was talking about expanding it. So we'll see if anything happens, and we'll go from there. But that's all for tonight. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.
See ya.